When you think of the word storm, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Perhaps heavy rainfall, a flood? Perhaps you're even afraid to think of the kind of damage a storm might cause. Don't worry. In this lesson, we'll be talking about a good kind of storm, the type that helps you solve a problem that many students have, generating ideas for their writing tasks. And this is called brainstorming. Writing can be a difficult task. You might struggle to decide on what words to use. You might not be confident about your spelling. Even your punctuation might look sketchy. But not even knowing how to start, that's probably the worst. Luckily, our minds are very powerful tools. Just like the clouds can squeeze out torrents of rain during a storm, your mind can generate useful ideas to set you off with your writing if you really put it to use. In simple terms, brainstorming helps you to reach into the depths of your mind to recall what you already know about the topic of your writing task, or even to get new ideas. Supposing you have to write a story that ends with the expression, "I wish I had listened to his advice." You already know this is a story about regret, right? Perhaps this has prompted you to think of words and phrases that are associated with regret, such as bad decisions, peer influence, disobedience, and so on. You may have noticed that it becomes easier to build a story around these words. This is called word association. It is a brainstorming technique where you write down all the words and phrases that pop into your head as you think about the topic of your essay. How do you do this? Start with a word or two and write down any other words that come to mind. These words should be relevant to the topic of your essay. Be careful not to overthink this process, but you'll be surprised at the words that pop into your head, even those you wouldn't normally think of immediately. Another brainstorming technique is called mind mapping. As the name suggests, you are simply drawing a map using the words and phrases that pop into your head. And of course, this would be preferable for you if you like to have information laid out visually. How does it work? The mind map works like a tree and its branches. You have the central idea in the center and then your points branching out from it. Supposing you have to write an article on the advantages and disadvantages of attending day school. The central idea, day school, will be written in the middle of your paper. Next, you could have advantages branching out to the right and disadvantages branching out to the left. This will get you thinking about as many points as you can possibly get. Brainstorming is a very important pre-writing activity. It helps you formulate ideas before you begin to write so that you don't get stuck on one idea while writing. You know that people don't build houses just by piling up bricks. First, you have to imagine what the house would look like. Then get an architect to draw up a plan. In fact, building the house is the last step in this process. Let's go over what we've learned today. We know that writing can be difficult, especially if we don't know what to write. But there are ways we can get the ideas flowing. Write down words associated with the topic of your essay as they pop up in your head. Or draw a mind map with those ideas branching out from the main idea. Do this and you will have a flood of great ideas to include in your essay. See you in our next lesson.